Okay, so the first thing I want to check is when I was looking at when it's plugged in, you can like clearly see that the spacebar is white and everything else is not. And that is because I did a sticky tape mod to it in order to make it thicker on the KB65HE. But I don't need that anymore, so let's see if we can remove our tape mod and better out our chances at making the keyboard feel a little bit better. Let's put it that way. Okay, wow, so the key, this actually stays very thinner, but I'm gonna see if I can fix this blueness. Alright, so now that we've tested out the keyboard, it is time to mod it. So, let's grab ourselves a switch puller, and our screwdriver. Let's take off the spacebar from the thingo. It took our switch with it. Jesus, it's grippy. So we're only going to remove the screws, the keys that we actually have to. So for instance, the space and the Alt key has to go. This guy, I know there's one underneath this tab key here. I know that there's one underneath this caps lock key and the shift key. I know there's one in between the H and the G. Any more? I think it's just these 5. Move that up there. Unscrew our screws. Oh, we just threw a keycap into our fucking PC. How the fuck am I supposed to get that out? Alright, so we're back after that. So now we gotta unscrew this guy. And now that this guy has been unscrewed, we can take the PCB out. We can take this guy out. Take out the foam. Grab our next container, which is our brass weight, guys. Super excited about this because it should add some weight into the keyboard. Comes with some screws. Open this bad boy up. Swap out our brass weight. Oh, it just feels so luxury. Alright. Now I want to know which one personally, because keyboards are all about personal experience, which one I like better foam wise. So we're going to put this screw back in here. I'm gonna do some testing and I'm gonna come back with whatever foam I like best. Alright, so I think I'm gonna leave the foam that we had in here originally, just because I really like the sound of that. Now, I need to pull off all the switches that have stabilizers because we're going to be doing a band-aid mod. Not to the actual stabilizer, but to the... we're going to be doing the band-aid mod to the actual... PCB, just because it is a big mess around and I don't have any grease with me, but eventually we will lube our stabilizers and we should be sounding nice and sweet. But for now, there is just 5 stabilizers that we need to cover. So once we've unscrewed those, what we can do, move this guy out of the way, turn this guy over, these guys. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we can remove, it doesn't take a lot of force, but we should be able to pull our PCB from the switch plate. Now obviously we got to pull the stabilizers out. So this is our PCB and this is our switch plate. Now in between that there is a silicone mold which we are going to swap out for this pour on. So we're just going to make sure everything's nice and lined up. Like so. Nice. And now we can put this up here and we don't have to worry about that. Next things next is we're going to turn the PCB over and there is going to be these little screws where all the stabilizers are. We need to remove these ones. The spacebar is going to be facing the north. Everything else is going to be facing the south. So how you put it in, you kind of just hook it in and then stick it down like that. What I like to do is have it set up so you don't forget. I think I forgot to take these ones out. No, I didn't. They're just a bit hard. I wonder where that is. Okay. So now that we have removed the stabilizers from the PCB, we are going to grab ourselves some isopropyl alcohol and some cotton buds. Now, I would suggest putting the alcohol on the cotton buds away from your PC setup, but yeah, so we're just going to grab one of these cotton buds. Nothing crazy. Put the cotton buds back in the box. Grab your isopropyl alcohol. Once your isopropyl alcohol's on there, basically what you're going to do is you're going to wipe off all the residue that would have been on your stabilizers. Once you're done, basically going to come through and wipe the whole thing down. Now that all the residue is removed, what we're going to do is we're going to go grab ourselves a band-aid. I got these heavy-duty thick ones, just because thicker the band-aid, the more dampening we get. I'm gonna go grab a pair of scissors and I'll be right back. Now we got a pair of scissors. Grab the band-aid. I suggest only doing one side. And you're basically gonna cut it in half like this. right? I'm gonna snip off the ends. Get nice and clean, fresh starts. And now you're basically just gonna cut chunks. You're gonna basically cut chunks off that fit the size of these pluses here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but now that we've done that, we're gonna move down and we're gonna do all the switches. Just grabbing your stabilizers and plugging them back in. Kind of just one by one, very carefully, making sure you're not damaging anything, but making sure they are put back as you've got them, like so. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. So that's how the stabilizers go. Now if we turn the PCB back over, we put some weight down on them. As you can see, we can now begin to screw everything back into place. So next we need to screw in our top plate, so we're just going to grab our top plate, just like so, line up everything, push all the pins, see how the pins just sink into the PCB there? That's exactly what we want. And then grab our screws, and screw everything down into place. Tape mod. Okay, this is a very easy mod. Basically, all that it involves is a bit of painter's tape, as you guys can see, and we're going to do 3 layers of painter's tape across this whole thing. So very straightforward. You literally just grab your tape, come over it like that, get to the end, grab your scissors, trim, avoid getting any air bubbles, and repeat. With these keyboards is because of the USB dongle. I like to just cut it and then just go like that. So just like that. But now all of a sudden we need to poke holes through for our things to sit through. So we're just gonna poke a hole through every single one. Alright, so once you've done 3 layers of tape mod, as you guys can see, and poked holes, you can then bring the case back down and remount it. Then all you have to do is put your keycaps back on and make sure that you can plug the keyboard in. RGB shows up, and does it connect? Yay! So now these should feel, ooh, now, this spacebar feels really, really hollow. So I'm gonna show you guys a really quick way on how to fix that. First of all, what you're gonna wanna do, unplug your keyboard, disconnect your spacebar. Now, if you have shine through keycaps like I do, you're going to want to use sticky tape. But if you don't have RGB on your keyboard, you could literally just fill it with things like pudding, like clay molds, and it will work perfectly. But basically, like we did at the start, just less extreme, we're going to put a few strips of sticky tape. So I'm going to go grab some tape and let's do that. Alright, this next step, super easy. You're basically just going to grab the sticky tape and place it into the thingo. If it's too long, grab some scissors, cut it off, stick it onto the tape. And we're basically going to keep adding tape until we're satisfied. Alright guys, finishing product, very, very heavy, super nice. Now let's do a typing test. So guys, this is the final product. This is my wooting. I am in love. This is probably the coolest keyboard I could have ever built. And it is 1.5 kilos, which is so good. Like, if I move it around on my desk, it moves the mouse pad. Like, I have to be careful because I'm gonna wreck my mouse pad. But yes, I am very happy. And if you guys want to see more content like this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.